here. We're talking about UFC Saudi Arabia, and it starts early. I think it's a 3 p.m. Eastern start time. Does that sound right?
Noon, baby.
Noon Eastern?
Yeah, let's fucking go.
Oh
Love
Love it.
those
shit. So
early
it's
cards.
9 o'clock for me, huh?
I
Yep.
love having it early. It's the best.
I like it early too, but I've been watching these with my neighbor. And he's probably gonna judge me if I drink that early in the day because I'm gonna. So
It's a requirement.
it is what it is. Yeah, man. My big bet, my whale bet, for a lack of a better term, hit last week. I'm not calling it the whale bet though. I'm calling it the rhino bet. That's what it is for me. That's the rhino bet. And it did hit. It was three juiced fighters, but I felt good about them. It was Knutson, it was uh Maness, and then it was Asu. Maness, him and his boys are partying right now.
Yep.
Right? I mean, dude, there's no way that fight goes the distance if there's not some kind of bet.
And that cost me bread that week. I had to double down on the Celtics to get my money back, but that one hurt. Nate Maness carrying Jimmy Flick for that fight was unexpected for me. But in hindsight, I should have seen it coming.
Well, hindsight's 2020, but I mean, Jared kind of hinted at that early on in the day. He was like, this fucking over 1.5 is getting steamed, and it doesn't make any sense. Almost like, Maness is going to carry him. And sure enough, it happened. So next time you notice that, Jared, point it out, and I won't be an idiot and I'll follow you on it.
And once I saw that, I was like, I wish I could cancel my bet, but I bet it early in the week thinking it was going to go the other way around. But it went
Yeah.
from minus 200 to minus 150, so that's a huge red flag.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense, dude. Like I said, hindsight's 2020. Did you go over on that 1.5, Jared?
You know what's funny? I even pointed it out. Like, yo, I think Nate Maness is going to carry this dude. I already had a bet for round three not to start, and sure enough, it did. And I don't know, man. I thought maybe it goes over 1.5, but I could still hit that. It doesn't get to round three, and he carried him, man. I had a little punt on Maness by decision, but I had him parlayed. I had that prop parlayed with something stupid, so inevitably lost that.
Okay. Now, the thing that I wanted to start with, obviously, we're going to talk about this card. We'll run through it fairly quick, I'm sure. There's some intriguing matchups, late notice matchup for the main event and all that kind of good stuff. But what do you think about these gloves, man? Are these gloves actually cutting down on knockouts, or do you guys think that the sample size is big enough? Because there hasn't been hardly any knockouts with punches since those new gloves. I think Dominic Reyes has the only knockout with punches, if I can't remember.
Well,
Sacri's.
I'll put
Zach
yeah,
Reese too. Okay.
but I'll put my input on this. I think Dustin Poirier kind of spilled the beans on this. He said that there's a little bit less padding in the knuckles, and he can't hit as hard. And he said, he only threw 80 punches in that fight, and his all of his knuckles were bruised when he's thrown a lot more in previous fights. So, after hearing that, I think it's the gloves are closer to bare knuckle, and yeah, that means you're going to see probably more hand injuries, people hitting less hard because they don't want to hurt their hands.
Mm.
So, yeah, that could be a reason why we see a decrease in these knockouts. But I think this weekend we get a couple as well.
Yeah, maybe, man. I mean, the ones that come to mind, the knockouts since the new gloves. I mean, there was a liver kick from that was against Chuck Buffalo, right? There was that spinning elbow that Bruno Silva threw. There was like, technically there's a knockout from Tatsuro Taira, but that was not a knockout, right? I think it should have been a verbal fucking submission because I had submission round 2, 3, and 4 for Taira. Um, really close there, and in hindsight, it does kind of make sense. Someone like Perez fighting so often after he's been off for so long, the dude was bound to get injured at some point. So it sucks. Again, hindsight's 2020, but fuck, man, it would have been nice to actually, capitalize on that. One thing I saw, dude, with the gloves, man, I was watching a Cage Warriors card right after the gloves came out, and they did a really cool piece on it. Like, it's memory foam. It's like 3 different layers of memory foam in the gloves. So like there's like kind of a rigid foam on the bottom, a medium foam on top, and then more like a gel kind of memory foam where it would connect with the face or wherever the target, I should say. So maybe it's a combination of like more knuckles are going to get exposed and then like, more kind of forgiving padding. But I think it's definitely interesting, man. Kind of for the short term, I think we got to maybe bet on some more goes the distance or later finishes on a lot of these fucking fights, man. It's gonna be weird. Let me pull up Tapology right here. Can roll right into this fucking card unless you guys had anything.
I got nothing for you. Actually, no, the whale bet I had last week. I had Costa and Tigir, and of course the Tigir fight gets scrapped. So I had to make a substitute, right? I went with the over 1.5 in the Garrett Armfield fight, which hit. It was the first time ever I hit the whale bet and still found a way to lose money because I
Wow.
had too many punts out on too many other shit. I didn't do the math right. And I hit the whale. And then I looked, I was like, yo, I'm still down right now. Like I'm like relying on a punt to even break even here. So we somehow lost money last week. I don't know how, but everyone that messaged me that I gave the whale bet, they made money.
Yeah, I mean, dude, you know what's interesting too, man, since you're talking about last week still, that Armfield fight, that was fucking wild, man. Like that
Yeah.
fight could have been stopped against Brady, right? Brady Heistan, they could have stopped that fairly on, but this dude comes back, and that was one of the ones that Alex and I both agreed on. Obviously, Jared sat out last week, but um, yeah, just what a weird kind of outcome to that. And then this dude finishes it by third round sub. Um, just an interesting little situation there. And then how about fucking Weston Wilson, man? Weston Wilson coming through. I actually did have
Instant karma for that fake glove touch.
yeah. I mean, dude, I didn't even notice that to be honest, but yeah, that Weston Wilson, I had him by sub as well, and that felt good. That was nice, nice way to start the evening off.
What was that?
But
Plus 800 ish?
I think it was plus 900.
Nice.
I threw like $20 on it. All right, let's fucking go. Let's start off this interesting card. Man, the fact that it starts at 9 is it's nice, but it's also scary. It's gonna be a rough day for me. Got a first fight of the night. I'll start with this because it's not very fun. This is the road to UFC tournament finale here. Kind of I don't really give a fuck about this fight, but I'm gonna bet on this Holy Kang or whatever the fuck his name is. I don't know about this Long Zhao dude, right? But supposedly Lee, he's a great wrestler. He chains submission attempts and takedown attempts together. Um, the the other dude, Zhao, has a lot of experience compared to Lee. Or Chang. I don't know. Again, I don't know how they do their names over there. Not trying to be disrespectful. I just don't fucking know. Shout out Bud Light too. Are you trans activists? It is Pride Month.
You know that can that has a trans girl on it?
Yeah,
I keep one of those in my car. That way, as
good,
soon as I am willing to fuck her, I know I'm not good to drive.
good. Yeah, that's actually a good parameter to know if you should drive or not. But yeah, man, I just think that the hustle of Chang here, Kang, is gonna pay off. Goes by the Korean Khabib. That's a stretch, but he does have that fight style. And there was a fight that he had not too long ago where he was getting dominated for about 2.5 rounds because he met someone with better wrestling than him. And then he came out in that last 2.5 minutes and pulled it off. He got the finish. So one of those dudes that's never going to stop. Um, he's kind of in his prime here at 30 years old. Give me Lee. Give me Holy Kang. But Jared, where are you at on this, man?
Well, just to start off, one thing, I never turned my back on Bud Light throughout all the bullshit and everyone hating. I didn't care. It didn't affect the way the drink tastes. I'll never turn my back on Bud Light. I'll drink what I enjoy.
Do you enjoy
Moving on
Bud
though.
Light? Kind of tastes like piss to
Yeah.
me.
What's wrong with Bud Light? But what are you, one of those IPA guys? You drinking 9% pretending you like it?
No, I do like a stronger beer because for me, I would have to drink a 30 pack of Bud Light to get drunk.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's what's
maybe
going
not
on.
get drunk, right? But so if I drink a 4 pack of 6% IPAs, that's like the equivalent to 10 Bud Lights, maybe
Right.
12. But I'm okay
Yeah.
with that because when I go to the store, if I'm deciding between Bud Light and IPA, I'm like, am I going for distance or am I going for speed? So tonight we're going for distance. So I want Bud Light.
Okay. Hey, I respect it. What do you think about this Asian dominant fight here?
To be honest, dude, this is the one fight on the card I didn't get around to doing any tape on.
I don't blame
So
you.
I don't got much of an opinion here. All I know is Long had 2 fights on Road to UFC. They were both decision wins. Lee had 2 fights on road to UFC. They were both KO wins. That's all I know about these guys. So knowing nothing, I'm just gonna side with Lee, say he finds a knockout, and sure, round one, why not?
Okay. Yeah, by the way, I took Lee by decision. I just think that's how it's gonna go. But
Alex, you picked Lee. We're all taking long.
I'm
yeah.
picking Lee decision, so
Fuck.
you already
Oh,
know.
there we go.
Okay, so I'm switching up. For people that don't know, anytime we all agree on the first fight of the night, it fails. So yeah, I'm not even kidding. I'm actually gonna take Long. So I will switch my pick to Long. At least maybe at that point, maybe both of you guys can win, but I'm not settling the books right now with
This is the trend to
with
end.
I mean, maybe this is probably that week when it starts. To be honest, I might not even have any action on this fight, man. I don't care about this fight at all. Like, it's not the road to UFC. I think sucks. It produces people like that Indian dude, Jubilee, right?
Yeah.
And then also Jekka that just lost to Weston Wilson. Like, that's the kind of caliber of talent that you get out of this promotion. Um, so I don't give a fuck. I might not even catch this fight, to be honest, just because I'll be trying to get ready since it's so damn early. Still mind blown that it's 9 o'clock. I remember though there was that Singapore card that was at 2 a.m. I did wake up for that and I watched that. That was pretty wild. But yeah, give me Long by decision. I'll switch up my pick here. First ever pick switch live on the show. What round and method do you have, Alex?
Go decision.
Decision. Okay. Cool. Long decision. Switching up. Now, second fight of the night is Magomed Gadzhiesulov versus Brenson Ribeiro. Another kind of low level fight here, but Alex, you can take this one to start, dude. What do you think about the Bahrainian versus the Brazilian here?
I'm gonna go with Magomedov. I think he's just another level. I like the undefeated prospect coming in here, but the red flag is that contender series guy. At least he's not. He's facing a vet. I don't remember Brendan's first fight. I haven't done too much
How
research
does
on this.
one UFC fight make you a vet?
I'm just saying it's not his debut. He's got the contender
Sophomore
series.
performance.
He got that contender series fade all over his face, and it's just minus 300 in your debut is just rough. So I'm staying away from this one, and I think there's a lot of question marks. We just got to see how they both perform, but I'm staying away from this.
Yeah, I can tell, Alex, that you don't care about this because you called Magomed Magomedov and you called Brenson Brendan. So I can tell that you don't care about this at all, and I don't blame you,
Not at
dude.
all. Not on my radar here.
Okay, so you're taking Magomed by what method in round? I missed it.
I'll go Magomed decision.
Okay. Jared.
Yeah, I think this is a very clear cut fight. I think it's a setup fight,
Yeah.
do big favor from Bahrain, which is a somewhat local guy. The crowd's going to be on his side. And I mean, dude's a grappling machine. He's a prospect. He's not one dimensional. The dude can strike. He's got some power, but ultimately he's going to look to take it to the ground. Uh, Ribeiro or Ribeiro, however you want to say it. I mean, the only positive thing I can say about this guy is he's got power. That's really all I think he got going for him. I think he's chinny. I think when he's on his back, he looks pretty fucking clueless. I've seen this dude fucking pop, jump the gilly and not work out for him. I've seen him jump and it does work out for him, but either way, that doesn't work out. You're going to end up on your back. And against a guy like this, it's probably not going to work out. I think this is a very, very easy fight to call. I'm going to take Magomed and say he gets it done early, first round knockout.
Okay. I am siding with you guys here as well. First round knockout, that's pretty ballsy. I think, man, I agree with you 100%. This is a setup fight, dude. It's a setup fight 100% because, Ribeiro 15-6, let's be real, it's a bad record, especially when you're fighting in promotions. Probably like Jungle Fight. I'm sure he spent some time there. He's definitely in AMC, which I haven't heard of. I actually don't even see Jungle Fight on here. Jungle Fight's like kind of that premier promotion out of Brazil, so he's not even really fighting at the highest level in Brazil. Where does Tapology rank this dude, by the way? number 52 worldwide, which obviously, Tapology's rankings don't really matter for anything, but just not very good. He comes in with his hands down. It seems like he's quick to just exchange no matter what. It doesn't matter if he's hitting or getting hit. And I just think he's outclassed here everywhere. So yeah, give me Magomed. I think he finishes him. I kind of want to go sub because I'm not seeing. I feel like maybe these guys are getting a little bit turned off by the glove conspiracy that's not proven or disproven right now. But yeah, give me Magomed sub round one. I think while they're dry, it's kind of a flyer because he's only got one sub on his record. But if you're gonna bet this, you probably just want to bet the over unders or pick a side and maybe parlay Magomed up if you want to do that. But third fight of the night, Jared, this is yours. Probably the best fight so far, right? Muin Gafurov versus Kyung Ho Kang. Mr. Perfect, dude.
I
Mr.
actually
Perfect,
just
but he's
noticed.
got 10 losses. What's that?
I said I just noticed we lost a fight here. Cedricus Dumas and Dennis Tululin, the biggest banger on the card. I
Oh
saw
yeah.
Dumas had visa issues.
Yeah, I should have mentioned that off the bat there. I almost put Dumas into my parlay, my Rhino parlay, as I'm gonna call it, but I
You're a
couldn't.
madman.
I couldn't. But even though because he's fighting fucking Dennis Tululin, right? And you know Dumas has been trying to kind of find his wrestling, and that's where Tululin really struggles. So I think he would have won that fight. But at the end of the day, man, like I kind of hate backing a piece of shit like Dumas. So I stayed away from putting him in the parlay, but I think he would have won that fight should they have actually
That was my hot take of
fought.
the evening was Dumas by sub. Uh,
Yeah.
that was a good bet too.
I'm
Yeah, I don't think
actually
it's
not
crazy.
surprised that it got pulled though. Seeing visa issues, I'm like, oh, this dude has a criminal record. I guarantee that came up.
Yeah, I mean Saudi Arabia, they're very anti-crime, man. Like they don't fuck around.
Yeah.
They'll cut your hand off. They'll do some crazy shit over there. So, but maybe we need to fucking start implementing some of that shit here because maybe people wouldn't do some weird shit. People walking down the street just shooting at cars and shit like that. And I think it was Texas or Arizona. People, there was some footage of a lady just stabbing a fucking toddler in Target, and in court she was laughing about it. And it's like, dude, if we enacted cruel and unusual punishment, maybe this shit wouldn't be happening here. I'm all for it. So yeah, Saudi Arabia might be onto something there. Um, but yeah, politics aside, what do you think about this matchup?
Yeah, getting off topic as always, but yeah, Gafarov, he's the kind of dude he wants to be the aggressor. He wants to try to get his opponent on the back foot, uh, get you towards the cage. Once you're by the cage, then he's starting to shoot those takedowns. His striking, you don't really see this dude putting together a lot of combinations. He kind of just loads up on his shots. He's trying to just throw power at you to get you on the back foot. That way he can go for those takedowns. And I mean, he's the kind of guy that he's willing to walk through punches to get those takedowns. On the King side, I think this dude has pretty underrated kickboxing. I think it's really solid. He has good balance. He has good movement. He doesn't overextend a lot. Uh, and I like how he stays calm under pressure. I've seen this dude in firefights, and he still stays technical and has a calm demeanor to him in a point that the fight's not calm. And on top of that, the dude has a really dangerous submission game. I just think he's well rounded. I like him everywhere. I know Gafarov's going to be going for these takedowns. And when he does, I mean, I think he can put himself in some tough positions because Kang's not to be fucked with on the ground, man. He's better than that 19 and 10 record shows. So I'm actually pretty confident here. I think Kang actually gets a submission, and Gafarov comes out aggressive. So I think it could happen early. So I'm going to go with Kang first round submission.
Okay, I like that. I don't think that that's crazy. Um, Sub in round one. I think that this is another kind of somewhat of a setup fight because you look at Gufrov's fight, Gafrov. It's a hard name to fucking pronounce. Said Nurmagomedov's great, man. That guillotine that he's got is so good. He's a good striker, but the guillotine, like he sets up that guillotine by being such a dominant striker. People want to shoot in on him, and then he just catches them with those long, skinny arms. He does it really well. Um, I think that Gafarov is the A side here, but I know a lot of people are on Kang, and it makes sense. But I think, I mean, after once you hit 19 and 11, you got to change your name to like Mr. Above Average or Mr. Just Better Than Average, not Mr. Perfect. This dude's far from perfect. He fucks up all the time. And yeah, I think Gafarov can make something happen here. I don't think he loses three in a row. And yeah, with the whole nation behind him, man, we see these people in Tajikistan. They fill up stadiums at 2 and 3 in the morning. What's it going to look like right now? It's like their time zone. Shit's going to be crazy. So yeah, he's got a whole nation behind him. Yeah, give me Gafarov. I think that it might go the distance. It might be a late finish, but I'll just go distance because these are kind of weird. Gafarov does have that questionable cardio, it seems like, but give me Gafarov decision. What do you got, Alex?
I'm on the other end. I'm with Jared on this one, but I have a different outcome. I've seen a lot of Kang struggle early in fights. I think this is going to be one of those spots. I think Kang after the first round is going to be a great bet. He's a great comeback fighter. He loves to come back in these close fights and these fights that he's losing. And I think this is going to be one of those spots because Gafarov comes out like a bat out of hell, and he's going to be high volume. And I think we're going to need that cardio to come down a little bit for us to get the W. But I like Kang to win by round 3 finish. I'm going to say knockout, but I wouldn't be shocked to see a sub as well. Wouldn't get greedy in that spot. But yeah, I think Gafarov gets tired, and I think Kang has better cardio, and I think he can finish him inside the distance here. But yeah, nice first dog of the night.
Hey, I like it. Next up, this is me, Renat Fakhretdinov versus Nicholas Dalby. Nicholas Dalby's a problem, man. Like this dude goes to other people's countries and fucks them up constantly. Like that's what he does. He's constantly slept on. Um, I am trying to build a narrative here that the best base to MMA is former alcoholism because Dalby's an old alcoholic and so is Alex Pereira. Okay. There's a couple other ones I just can't think of their names right now, but they say like the best base is being 6'4", or more realistically, the best base is wrestling and all this shit. But maybe alcoholism is the real way to go. Maybe you need to turn into a full-blown alcoholic, recover, and then you're gonna have that elite cardio. Like Dalby does. He does that weird breathing the whole time. And he's a prospect buster, man. This dude's great. Fighting out of Denmark. There's one other fighter that he's training with. His name slips my mind right now. Kind of an OG in MMA, also fighting out of Denmark. But I think that kind of low level hype train stops here, man. I like Dalby a lot. I like his story. I think he's a good dude. But I like Fakhretdinov a lot here. I think that he's going to pressure with the wrestling. That is kind of where Dalby, I think he's been taken down by everyone that he's ever fought. I might be wrong on that. But with someone like Renat, you know, I think that the nonstop pressure and the pace is just going to be a problem. 32 versus a 39-year-old. These 39-year-olds tend to fall off a cliff, dude, when it comes to cardio and all this stuff. If cardio is your biggest weapon at 39, I think could become a problem either here or very soon. I think Renat's more skilled. I just hope he doesn't hunt for a knockout because that's going to be a problem if he comes out guns a-blazing rounds 1 and 2 and he fades. I hate his fucking attitude in his last fight where he dominated fucking Elijah Zaleski for 2 rounds and then got fucked up in that 3rd round. And at the end, he's hugging and smiling. They're almost like that they needed to get a room almost because this dude was just too happy to go to a draw. Like you should be pissed. So I'm hoping that that's kind of like his poker face, but he was super like it was eating him up inside. And I hope that he goes back, works on that cardio a little bit more. At 32, he can improve quicker than Dalby can. And I think that the pressure might be too much. It's either going to be a dominant 29-28, like 29-28 across the board, where he just fucks this dude up for 2 rounds, or Renat might finish him in round 1 or 2. Dalby's never been knocked out, I don't think. Yeah, he's never been finished at all. So tough to say, but I think there's a first time for everything. I think Fakhretdinov might get that knockout here because I think he's really going to hunt for it in round 1. But let's say it comes round 2, Fakhretdinov knockout round 2, probably pretty crazy odds on that too. Jared, what do you think on that, man?
Yeah, I'm on the same side as you if we're not. I mean, you kind of nailed everything I wanted to bring up. That third round against Zaleski, yeah, I mean, he was on his way to a unanimous decision, and then he gets a draw. He gets 10-8 in the third round. I mean, it wasn't a good look. I'm sure it's something everybody has in their mind going into this fight, that he might have a gas issue, and Dalby's best weapon is his cardio. But we know what we're getting where we're not. This dude is just a complete wrestling machine. Of course, yeah, you got to be a little concerned about the cardio, but he's not horrible on the feet. He's actually pretty high output, but it's all kind of just distractions to get those takedowns going. And we all know Dalby. He's one of those guys. He's got that dog in him. He needs to desperately keep this fight on the feet. He has pretty decent takedown defense, but I don't think it's going to be good enough to avoid the onslaught that Renat's going to be putting on him. It's just a tough fight for Dalby. I think Renat should do his thing. If we find ourselves in a third round, I might be looking at a live bet on Dalby. But as of right now, I like Renat. I feel really good about him. He's cashed 3 whale bets for me. Should have been 4, but that fourth one was that draw. But either way, the guy's cashed 3 whale bets for me. Gotta love him for that. And I got to side with Renat here. I'm going to say I'll give Dalby credit though. The guy's never been finished, so I'll just go with history and say this goes a distance. So Renat by decision.
Yeah, again, man, what a sleeper this dude is. Like never being finished, fighting at this level for this long, going and like just collecting scalps around the world. This dude beats other people in their country. Now,
Yeah,
luckily, we're not in Renat's country right now. What were you gonna say?
I got some love for Dalby too because Bonfim was on my fade list, and through Dalby I was able to check him off that fade list. So that was a really good feeling.
Yeah, I mean the dude's really good at earlying a weather storm and then just coming through, man. So it's one of those things. You wonder what he's eating there. But Alex, what do you have on this one?
I'll just say right off the bat, I think the line is a bit wide, especially seeing the tear that Dalby's on. I thought they were going to give him a little bit more respect on the betting line, but you know, especially that rough performance from Renat. He showed even bad IQ against Zaleski. Choosing to strike instead of grappling. It was kind of a bad look, even though he had success in 2 rounds before gassing out. Yeah, that did cost us some money going to a draw. Didn't lose this money, but we're happy with it. I'm going to stick with Renat here. I think he can get takedowns. I think he has the best finishing ability in this fight as well. As long as he keeps his gas tank up, I think he's the one that could finish. And, it's just tough. There is value on Dalby, I believe. But if I were to bet him, it might be decision only. I don't know if I'd be confident enough to take that money line. But again, laying minus 300 on Renat right now, it's gonna be risky. I might take a punt on him by submission, but that's gonna be how I see the fight ending. I'm gonna take Dalby, get submitted by Renat in round 2.
I like that. A little different. A little different. We all got different methods. Same guy. I got the knockout. Jared's got the decision. Alex has the sub. That's a first, I think. Uh,
Same, but different.
same, but different. I just realized you're same, but different over there in the location, Jared. I didn't realize until
Yeah,
you stood
dude,
up. You're not in
it's
that
too
beautiful
hot.
pink room.
Didn't have the AC going in the other room, so we're coming to you live from the living room tonight.
Okay. I like the Christmas lights and that cool mirror back there, I gotta say.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle. The pink room wasn't gay enough for you. I got some lights with a little moving mirror. We're getting after it over here.
Beautiful. What is the sign above that door in the mirror that I see there?
That is a Vermont license plate with a
Okay.
pot leaf in the middle.
Like it. Okay.
I
Great.
show him the Keith Shrine.
The what?
Keith Shrine.
The Keith Shrine?
Yeah, Keith Peterson.
Oh shit! Oh, that's in the other room. I got a framed picture
Wow.
of Keith Peterson
No
with like
fucking way. Is it
a
signed?
cigarette and a bottle of whiskey, and yeah, it's awesome.
Oh, it's signed?
No,
Oh, that'd be so funny, dude.
that would be
Bobby
hilarious. Dude
Bobby
has like
Hill.
1,100 followers on Instagram. I should fucking hit him up. Be like, yo, sign this for me.
Yeah, he's a fucking piece of work, man. He looks
He's the
exactly like
fucking
Bobby Hill.
goat.
Sure. Sure. Um, Alex, looked like you were trying to say something, but you were muted, sir. I will pull up the next fight. This is yours, Alex. Nasrat Haqparast. Is this Nasrat or is it Kelvin? It's Nasrat, but Jared, he's fighting Jared Gordon here. What do you think about this matchup?
Tough fight, but you gotta go with Nazrat. I think if he fights smart, mixes it up, maybe even keeps it standing a little bit more, works on the outside, a lot of leg kicks. I could see him winning a decision here. Could also see him even clipping Gordon. But this is another tough fight, and I think the line is also wide here. I would have lined it at Nazrat around -175, but he's a clear favorite here. He's on a tear. And yeah, I'd go with him by decision here. It's just, I wish there was a little bit more value on him here. I wouldn't hate anyone taking a shot on Gordon. Could win a close decision here. The guy got a good record, and he's good. He's coming off one of his better wins, too, with that knockout over Mark Madsen. So, yeah, this should be a good fight. This is a sleeper fight. I do like the over 1.5. I trust both of these guys' durability. But as far as a decision, this could be close, and I'd be scary with this, especially if all the money's on one side. So be wary of this fight. But I'll go Nazareth decision. Not super confident.
Yeah, maybe by that point spread, the plus 3.5.
Yeah, but he's
That's
the favorite. So,
no for Gordon.
oh yeah, that wouldn't be a bad look.
Yeah, I heard that theory. We talked about it just briefly last week, Alex, where it's like that's a great way to still get your outcome that you want if you're like, some kind of, mafia or someone controlling these betting narratives and whatnot, betting lines, betting outcomes, but you can still have these weird split decisions like Paulo Costa, Sean Strickland, and a lot of money can move in a certain direction while you still get the outcome that makes sense. So maybe looking at more of those point spreads would make sense in the future. But yeah, Nazrat by decision for Alex. You pointed out something too, dude. He's Gordon's kind of chinny, man. It seems like so. I think that's a nice thing to just kind of bank on. But Jared, what do you think about this?
Yeah, I'm going to be on the Nazareth side here. I mean, I like his striking. I think it's sharp. I love the left hand, man. The left hand comes fast. He throws that thing hard. And he's not just spamming straights, whether it's a hook, an uppercut, or a straight, he's letting that fucking thing fly. And, he's pretty well rounded. He has a good takedown defense. And he's shown if he does get taken down, he has the ability to get back up. And he's just one of these guys that if you look at his losses, he's really only losing to a higher level of competition. Little bit of a concern that he may start to slow down later in this fight, which makes some opportunities for Gordon to maybe push some wrestling. But and Gordon himself, he's a solid fighter. Every fight this dude comes in with a well-rounded approach. He usually has a good game plan depending on the guy he's fighting. But he's not bad on the feet. But in this fight, I don't think he's going to be able to keep up with Nazareth on the feet for too long. I think he should really look to wrestle early and often. Nazareth has great takedown defense, so it's a good fight, man. It's a really tough to pick a side here. He might look good on the feet early. It might look kind of even maybe in the first round, but if they stay on their feet for 3 rounds, I think Nazareth's really just going to start to run away with this. It's good matchmaking, though. I do think this fight goes long, and I think it probably plays out close. And a fight playing out close, and I would imagine everybody's kind of on one side. It I'm kind of tempted to side with Gordon here. I like Nazareth. I'd like to think he wins, but I'm tempted to have a shot on Gordon. As of right now, I'm going to go Nazareth by decision, but that could change later in the week, after interviews, after weigh-ins.
Yeah, I like it. I'm right there with you, but I think Nazareth might get a finish. Because I don't want to bank on a decision at that point when everyone's on one side, like you said. You said exactly how I was thinking it. So, yeah, give me Nasdaq, give me knockout round 1 or 2. I think it could probably come in round 1 because yeah, Jared Gordon is like I said, he's a little bit chinny, man. It seems like, and Nazareth he doesn't seem very chinny at all to me. He seems actually pretty solid. He's been knocked out once before, but he's got that great takedown defense. I don't think that it matters. Jared Gordon's, pretty solid offensive wrestling, but yeah, I think that this is a clear spot for Nazrat. Give me the knockout round 2 actually, just because maybe Gordon does have a little bit of success early on with the takedowns, but
You know what? No matter which fight this goes, we got to give Kelvin Gastelum some serious credit. Fighting twice on one card at 2 different weight classes, it's
yeah,
impressive.
it is nuts, dude. It's gonna be pretty crazy. We've never seen these dudes in the same fucking place, and
Nope.
supposedly we are this coming weekend, but we'll see. You got a fun fight to break down here, Jared. This is your start. Shara Bullet versus Joylton. It sounds like a Jewish version of Jailton Almeida, Joylton. But yeah, what do you think about this one?
I think Shara is probably the easiest fighter on this card to break down. I mean, it's cut and dry, right? The dude has great striking. Like, when I say great, like I'm not saying it lightly. Like the dude's striking is seriously really fucking good,
Excellent
and that's a
kicks.
yeah. I mean, the dude's fucking good, and he cuts good angles on the feet, and yeah, those kicks are fucking wild. But that's accompanied by zero grappling skills. I don't know how you live your whole life in Russia and can't defend a takedown, but he cannot. This dude's wrestling is fucking trash. You got a Muay Thai guy that was taking him down and controlling him, which is pretty, it was, I had him in that fight and I'm sitting there sweating. That wasn't a fight I was supposed to sweat, but either way, the dude's striking's world class. The grappling needs a lot of work. The Joylton side, I think this guy's just kind of filling a spot. He hasn't really been competing in MMA lately.
Yeah.
He actually has a lot of experience across a few different sports:
Look
karate,
at this.
boxing, Muay
Look at
Thai.
this right here. Grapple, custom, Muay Thai, kickbox, cage box, karate, boxing, MMA. That's
Yeah, and
nuts.
his most recent fights have not been in MMA. They've been in karate and they've been in boxing. And he's got a lot of experience. They're across different sports. I think he's kind of had half a foot out the door in MMA. It seems like his priorities are kind of elsewhere. Uh, it'd be smart for him to grapple, obviously, but I'm not sold that he can, and I'm not sold that he will, especially competing in karate and boxing so much lately. I think it might have gave him a belief in his striking, and he's an aggressive striker. He's not super technical, so I do see a lot of openings there. Shara is so technical on the feet. I feel like the UFC was kind of looking at this like, let's give Shara a guy that's willing to strike with him, and this is a guy that's willing to strike with him. I think they're kind of, it's one of these setup fights. I think it's pretty clear cut. They're not bringing this guy in to win. He's the obvious B side of this fight.
Yeah.
So I think it's a very easy pick here. I'm going with Shara. I think the line might be around where it is just because how bad his wrestling looked in his last fight. I think the UFC found a guy that's willing to strike them, and I just think that's how it's going to go. I could see him land a big shot or two, but I believe in Shara striking enough to forget about the shitty wrestling. So let's say Shara gets it done quick, round 1 knockout, like he should have done last time.
Man, I had Shara by knockout. I didn't pick a round, but yeah, it was brutal watching that. Now you look at this Joylton's fucking submissions. A lot of them were pretty early in his career. Arm bars, Bravo choke. I've never even heard of a Bravo
Yeah,
choke.
and you're looking at the records of the guys that he's submitting. It's pretty often for guys to have a lot of submissions early in their career against
Yeah.
guys that aren't as experienced. They don't know how to defend this shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because you look at this, he's got 13 wins by submission. That's nuts. And his only grappling match ever was canceled, according to Tapology. Now, he might have had some other ones, but like this dude's not a big grappler by any means. So, yeah, I think that you nailed it with this dude is coming in to strike. And I mean, they want to make Shara look good. I mean, this is like, I don't think that he has a visa right now, Shara, because there's a whole situation where he was talking about he wants to star in like a short film. His agent got him to role in a short film where he's like a serial killer or some
I
shit.
saw that. Well, you know
Yeah.
what? I don't think it's the visa he's having an issue with. I think it's the commissions in the states that they're not going to let him fight with an eye like that.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what's keeping him out of the U.S. So, I mean, at best, we're going to be seeing this guy fight once a year. You know what I mean?
Huh. Well, I mean, yeah, you wonder then if it is really if he is just kind of one of these guys to like build other characters. But I mean, Jolton's never fought in the UFC. This is his first ever fight here, right?
Yes.
So every time he steps up in competition, KSW, he loses. PFL, which I rank very lowly. I don't understand. Like, maybe you can help me understand this. How is PFL not in modified MMA rules with the elbows?
I'm pretty sure. Actually, no. I know when they have the cards that they have Bellator people on, they allowed elbows. I don't know if it was like a one card thing.
Okay.
Not really up to date with the PFL, but yeah, that fucking no elbows bullshit.
Yeah, it's stupid. That would be modified rules, right? Or
Yeah,
custom
you're
rules,
right
you would
because it's
think.
not under the universal rules.
Yeah, so whatever. Yeah, PFL does suck. I actually like Cage Warriors and freaking I watched some other one the other day. Aries was actually pretty good, dude. There was this fat fuck that won a title. I mean, this dude was obese and he went out there and like this dude had a great gas tank. He actually like outworked the fit dude. It was pretty cool to watch, actually. It was kind of funny, but pretty cool. I hit a nice little three-legger minus the draw in the main event. But yeah, man, I think this is Shara all day. Spoiler, he is in one of my parlays, the only parlay that I have. But there's a couple of the fighters that we mentioned that are also in the five-legger that I got going. But yeah, give me Shara, give me knockout. I think that the knockout for Shara is a nice bet. But if you're, for the sake of the show, I will also side with Jared. Round one, knockout for Shara. Alex, what do you got, dude?
I think this is gonna be a close fight. This fight scares me. This guy Joelton, he's on the juice. He's definitely on the juice. I watched him at 155, and then you watch his fights after. This guy blew up like a balloon. This guy's a freak of nature to me, and this is gonna be a really good fight. I see Joelton getting takedowns, and I think that'd be actually a good bet to make that Joelton gets some takedowns against Shara because he has gone for them. And this guy actually does have, other than his wins, his losses are actually pretty good. Dricus du Plessis, he was actually looking good against him. There was a controversial stoppage at the end. He lost to Clay Collard. Very close fight again, and all he did was wrestle in that fight. So I agree with Jared. He could come in here in love with his hands, but I think he would find out quick that, yeah, I think I should go back to this old wrestling game plan. And if he's smart, he's going to come in and wrestle. But with that being said, I think Shara works more. I think Shara is going to have the volume advantage. I think even if Shara's on his back, he could be winning the fight, just like he was against Bruno Silva in
Yeah.
his last fight. You know what I mean? So I just think he's going to be so aggressive that even though Joelton should win the fight by having maybe a lot of control time, they're not going to give it to him. But this is another spot where, we're really putting a lot of faith in the judges here. And I think this fight does go over. The bookies agree with me. Over 2.5 set at minus 155. So that's suspicious. And this is just one of the spots where you got to trust the judges here. And it's just one of those spots that I don't want to trust. I'd
Saudi
recommend
judges.
I'd recommend you take the over here, but I'm going to take Shara wins a split decision, and half the public's going to be upset about it.
Yeah, man. That's one thing that we didn't talk about. This is the first time they've ever gone to Saudi Arabia, right? Like they've gone to Abu Dhabi, they've gone to Dubai, all this shit, right? But they haven't been here to Saudi. So maybe these judges don't give a fuck. Maybe they just go in there and they're like, hey, our guy wins. You know what I mean? And then they'll ask Dana, what do you think about the judging? And Dana will have to go because there's so much fucking money there. Dana will have to go. They just saw the fight the way they saw it. He won't bitch about it because no one can bitch about it. These people are rivaling the fucking PGA tour and arguably outbuying them with that live golf tournament shit that they're doing. So they've got money over there. And yeah, I think that that's pretty interesting. Dude, Alex, you should have said when you said that Joelton was on the juice, I was expecting a no offense. No offense, but I think Joelton's on the juice,
Oh,
right?
I
That was a
missed
big
that line.
I missed
Would
it.
have
Did we
that
did
would
we
have been
shame you out of
perfect
taking
for
it?
no offense.
No, if yeah, we Jared and I always have an over under on how many times you say no offense on each show. But okay, let's go. This is me. Oh man, Johnny Walker. This is the guy that Alex thinks is my boy, Johnny Walker. He is not my boy.
Compliments
Um,
him once.
what's that?
You compliment him once. Now he's your
Yeah,
boy.
dude. I don't know, man. This is a tough fight to pick because Vulcan, dude's got a better chin than Johnny. These gloves, You know, who knows what the real deal is with these things. But Volkan Ozdemir, man, I have this idea in my head that he's washed, but he beat Bogdan Guskov, who beat Ryan Spann. I mean, he beat Ryan Spann though. Like, this is the thing, you know, when we were talking about this, I was on, Bogdan in that fight. You guys both had Spann. You guys thought highly of Spann there. I tend to not think highly of Spann, but especially after that, I think he's washed and he's horrible. But Bogdan, he's not as bad as maybe we thought. So Volkan going out there, yeah, it was his first performance, Bogdan's first UFC fight. But you look at who this dude's losing to, Ozdemir. He's losing to Nikita Krylov, who's decent. Magomed Ankalaev, who is the GOAT in some people's eyes. I don't see it yet. But Yuri Prohashka as well. Great former champion, could potentially be champion come UFC 303 later this month or early next. Yeah, later this month, next event. So I think he also lost to like Daniel Cormier. I mean, his losses are quality losses. Dominic Reyes, Anthony Smith, DC. I mean, he's losing to good guys and only good guys. But then you see Johnny Walker. This dude, I think, should be a pick him against anybody, no matter who he's fighting. This dude's a pick him. I like betting him as an underdog. I do not like betting him as a favorite, because he's just so volatile. Um, it's tough, dude. I don't even know. I don't have an answer. I think this fight does not go the distance, though. I might pick Ozdemir. If Walker is actually a favorite, because I don't know the exact odds right now, but if Walker's a favorite, I'm picking Ozdemir come fight time. If Walker's a dog, I'm picking Walker. But for right now, give me Ozdemir, give me knockout round one. This doesn't, I don't think, get out of round two in any fucking universe. If it does, the gloves are fucked up. So yeah, give me Ozdemir knockout round one. Alex, what do you have here, man?
Definitely going to be a good fight. Definitely like the pick on the no distance. But, this fight, Johnny Walker has a habit of having sneaky decisions. You know what I mean? Thiago Santos fight went to a decision. Anthony Smith went to a decision. Don't sleep on. I would stay away from the props here. This is one of those unpredictable fights. And, you know, what Johnny Walker is lacking is what Vulcan has, is the thing here. And it goes vice versa as well. Johnny Walker really does have, better finishing capability here. But Vulcan has so much higher IQ. He's very smart in the cage. He may not look smart, but he's super smart in the cage and he knows how to survive and he's experienced. This is a very tough fight because it's kind of like brains versus bronze here. And when I first looked at the fight, I was all over Johnny Walker, but it's just if Johnny Walker doesn't find that big moment, I don't see him winning. You know what I mean? So here's my advice. If you like Johnny, take him by finish only because I really don't see a world where he can win a decision. But Vulcan isn't a bad bet as a dog. He really isn't. He's gonna fight for your money, and if he doesn't get clipped early, he's probably gonna be winning a lot of the minutes. But I gotta go with my gut here. I'm gonna go with Johnny Walker gets the first round KO.
It's not a bad look. I think I'm with you there. I mean, we can probably both agree with both of these guys. They can't be trusted. You know what I mean? Both these guys are banned from whale bets. They're not banned from steamers, but they're banned from the whale bets. um, but yeah, you look at Vulcan. I mean, the dude really has only lost to a very high level of competition. Uh, I'd say my main issue with him is there's times where he can be a little low volume, which I have a little bit of a problem with that. But Alex, you're right. The dude has really good fight IQ. The guy, he makes good decisions while he's in there. And yeah, he's had a very, very strong strength of schedule. And, he's shown a well-rounded game. He's shown that he's really improved his grappling along the way. When he first came into the UFC, grappling was something that he really struggled with. And he's really improved it. You see him getting better on the ground and, sometimes even initiating the wrestling. And against Johnny Walker, he is a dude that we have seen him struggle on the ground before. First that comes to mind is Ankalaev. in their first fight. Krylov, I even think Ryan Spann might have gotten him down once or twice. But in this fight, he does have a big size advantage, and he has good striking. He used to be pretty fucking wild, really careless, but he's really tightened things up. He doesn't show that same, that same dumb shit that we usually see out of him, like finding himself getting knocked out in the most animated, ridiculous way. He's kind of strayed away from that. So it's good to see. I'm a little concerned with him on the ground, but at least on the feet, I think he has really good movement. And I mean, he's a true athlete. And I don't feel great about it, but I'm siding with Johnny Walker here. I think he should take this fight. And I agree with Ryan. I don't think this leaves the first round, like for a second. So I'm saying Johnny Walker finds a knockout in the first round. Um, wouldn't necessarily tail the method, but I feel pretty decent about Johnny Walker here, and they're sitting at dead even right now, -110, -110. So it's a true coin flip, but I'm going with Johnny Walker, and Ryan just pulled up a picture of Johnny Walker getting knocked out.
Yeah, right here. Yeah, wacky
Wacky
waving
waving,
inflatable arm
arm
flailing
flailing
tube,
tube man.
man. Jinx. Yeah, imagine we both say it at the exact same time. No, dude, yeah, this is exactly what he looks like. I was trying to find a GIF or a GIF. But yeah, dude, I mean, just exactly like this. And it's sad, you got to be embarrassed when something like that happens on national TV. So you've got Walker by knockout.
Yep, round one.
Round one. Alex, I was obviously away when you gave your prediction. Is that the same for you? Yep.
Yep. Same.
Also, a Walker sub is not crazy here. It really isn't. A Walker submission is not crazy. So I think that's something to maybe keep an eye on. We're all looking for the knockout, but yeah, I think a Walker sub could be live. He has hit those before in the UFC, at least once. Coming up next. The wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man kind of threw me off here. All right, so you got Alex is up with the second Tajiki fighter, Mohamed Naimov versus Felipe Lima, who's got his whole family tattooed on his chest, it looks like, which is cool. I respect it. Kind of like Charles Oliveira. It's like a Brazilian thing, it seems like. But what do you think about this matchup, man? Do you think it's another setup fight or what's up?
Well, the odds tell you, it's not a setup fight, but it's strange, guy comes in on short notice and they still put him at even odds. That's a lot of respect. They're giving this guy more respect than Nicholas Dalby this week, you know what I mean? But with that being said, you got to do some extra tape on this one. Haven't had a chance and a little bit behind schedule, but they trust his camp. If he's coming out of All Stars, you got a guy fighting Team Elevation. They already must be hearing some things from the grapevine about this kid to put him at even odds in his debut. So, do some research on this one. Definitely gonna watch weigh-in, see how he sizes up, see if he, can make weight healthy. And yeah, we'll do some tape and do some more research on this one. But right now, I guess you got to go with Naimov. I'm gonna go with Naimov by decision currently.
Yeah, I would say that this dude, this Felipe Lima dude, has two good wins, two really good wins, maybe three, maybe four. 6-0, and 8-1, and 21-7, and 15-5. The rest of these dudes he's fighting, 5-4, 2-3, 0-0, 0-0, 0-1, 0-2, things like that. And yeah, Gaff. I mean, I'm sorry, Nine Mob is in my opinion, he's kind of a proven entity right now. Dude, I think is doing really well. He lost his Contender Series fight, but he's looking good in the UFC, beating Nathaniel Wood, Jamie Malarkey. I don't really rate either of those too high, but Eric Silva, that's a good win too, kind of, right? So yeah, it's just one of those things, man. I don't know. It's tough. Neither one of these dudes fighting the highest level of competition at this point. But yeah, give me Naimov. And you said you got Naimov by decision, Alex?
Correct.
Um, I tend to think the same thing, man. Probably a lot of wrestling, probably a lot of just grappling, fucking around on the ground. What do you got here, Jared?
I was really hoping you guys were gonna have something on Lima, like just so you guys did some kind of tape on him. I haven't gotten there yet. I was really excited to watch Melsik Bagdasaryan against Naimov. I thought that was a fucking sweet fight. And now I see Lima's coming in on short notice. I don't know anything about the guy. Apparently, the odds makers do that. They're putting him at even odds on a short notice debut. So yeah, that's something that definitely kind of jumps out at me. But I'm gonna have to look into this guy tonight or tomorrow. Good record, good camp, and the odds are definitely surprising. I do know Naimov. This is a dude that he throws heat. Every punch he throws hard. But he seemed to really be improving his striking, just trying to make it more technical as opposed to just throwing fucking haymakers. And train that elevation. Another great camp. I know he's been getting work in with Corey Sandhagen, who's cornered him for a few fights, and he's looked good since he's been there. Um, he has good wrestling. He's aggressive when he's on top. He has really heavy top pressure. Uh, One concern with him is he's been a bit hittable. Although he's hittable, he is tough. I've seen him take some hard shots, and, still find a way to stay in there and end up on the ground and on top afterwards. But I mean, the dude's tough, man. He won't shy away from a firefight. I definitely got to do more tape on Lima though. So I guess right now the pick is Naimov, and they're giving him so much respect on the odds. I guess I'll say Naimov decision, but when I say that, no, I have not looked into Lima at all, and I'm definitely going to.
Yeah, it should be pointed out here too for anyone listening that Lima is a bantamweight, supposedly the number one bantamweight out of the Nordic region, and they're fighting at featherweight, which is Naimov's
Probably due
rightful.
to the short notice, right?
Yeah, yeah, of course, right?
Yeah.
So, but I mean, still, yeah, like you wonder how much bigger Naimov is gonna be. It says that he is 3 inches taller. There's no reach on Lima on record. And typically when that's the case, these guys are fighting in lower level promotions, which is the, kind of true for Lima here. He's not fighting in the highest level, fighting in Octagon, Fight Club Rush, which I've never heard of, Brave CF. Heard of Brave FC. I don't think I've heard of Brave CF. Mr. Cage 39. That's a nice one. That's Nicholas Cage's promotion. I mean, there's nothing. Amazon talent. He's fighting in nowhere, and he's fighting kind of nobodies in those places. So yeah, I think that this is probably another showcase bout for Naimov. But we'll see, man. Time will tell. Let's go to the next one, which will be Jared leading us into, I mean, fucking Kelvin Gastelum's second fight of the night versus D-Rod, a washed couple of dudes right here. This is not a good look. Both these guys kind of fighting down in competition, but what do you think? D-Rod's supposedly undefeated in the streets, man, and in prison fights. I don't know if that's true, but he says he's 100-0 in the streets. I'm going to go ahead and say he is not telling the truth. But what do you think about this? You'll start with this, Jared.
Sounds like a Cedricus Dumas kind of record.
Yeah.
But yeah, ton of respect to Gastelum, man. Second fight of the night, up a weight class too. Big
Tough.
respect there. But yeah, man. All seriousness, Gastelum at 32 years old, he's got a lot of miles on him. I mean, 20 UFC fights. Dude's taking a lot of damage. He might as well be 37 like Daniel Rodriguez with the amount of damage he's taken over his career. Uh, he's never been knocked out though. You got to give him credit there. And he's a dude that he's willing to go to war. He's tough as shit. He shows up to fight every time. When you see him struggle the most, it's usually against a really wrestle heavy guy or some form of a jujitsu nerd. But Daniel Rodriguez isn't gonna do that. Like you're not gonna have to worry about defensive wrestling in this fight. So for Kelvin, I think his game plan should really be offensive wrestling coming into this one. Rodriguez, high volume striker. He wants to keep this fight on the feet. He has a bit, not super big, but it's notable height and reach advantage in this fight, and he's going to look to use it. He's good in the clinch. His takedown defense is just okay. I think one thing that he should, I don't know if he will, but I think one thing he should understand going into this fight is he should accept you're probably not knocking Kelvin Gastelum out. So just try to make it a point fight, keep it on the feet, and you're probably going to start to pull away. Even if it does get to the ground, I don't think Daniel Rodriguez is clueless. He's coming out of a good camp with Syndicate. He spends time at 10th Planet, a very well-known jiu-jitsu gym. And so even if it gets to the ground, I don't think the guy's clueless. This line the line on this fight is just way too wide for me. You said it yourself, right? Two wash guys. I think Gastelum's a little bit more wash than Rodriguez, but either way, these guys, they're both kind of at a low point right now, but this line is just way too wide. I do think Gastelum has more ways to win, but I just don't trust him. And I think if you're looking for value, it's all on D-Rod. So I'll side with Daniel Rodriguez to win a decision. And yeah, I think he gets it done, man.
All right. Yeah, pretty interesting. I am on the other side. I'm on Kelvin Gastelum, man. I think that I'm hoping because this guy, I think he's 2-5 since he fought Izzy. Let me fact check that. Yeah, 2-5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and yeah, I mean, 3 canceled fights, 4 canceled fights. Excuse me. I know that Shavkat fight, he did get a bad cut on like his fucking face. It was like a horrible cut, I remember. But 2-5 since fighting Izzy, losing that decision. I thought it was a split decision. They haven't marked here as unanimous decision loss, but his last knockout was against Michael Bisping in 2013, and that might be the way that he needs to win this fight against somebody like D-Rod. D-Rod's got that good boxing. I actually do think he's clueless on the ground, Jared. You're saying he's not. That's just my opinion. I think he is. I mean, he got put away by Neil Magny, who doesn't finish anyone, and
Black belt in jiu-jitsu. Come on, bro.
I know, but he doesn't wins his last finish other than fucking,
Mike
he finished
Malott.
that Canadian pussy.
Yeah, you have him a lot going into that fight. He wasn't a pussy before that fight.
Yeah, dude, every Canadian is a fucking pussy, dude.
There's no one
Straight up.
Ryan hates more than French and Canadian.
Yes, and incidentally, they share a culture, French Canadians.
Sounds about right.
But the one Canadian I do actually like is the Monster, dude. I am a fan of the Monster. He's a pretty cool dude. But yeah, with this, man, I just think that Kelvin, I think he's the side here. I've never been high on D-Rod. I bet him against Magny, and that is what sealed the deal for me, is when he lost to Magny. Now, it's no disrespect to Magny. No offense, as Alex would say, to Magny. The dude he's a good dude, and he's fucking quality. The dude can go the distance, and he can make people fight his fight. So it's no disrespect to that dude, because I actually like him. And the guy that I went to high school with that lost to Chuck Buffalo, he just posted a picture today. Apparently he's training with Drew Dober and Neil Magny quite a bit right now to go and make some debut in some kind of more regional promotion. But Neil Magny's cornered my buddy before, so I like Neil Magny. It's nothing against the dude, but he's not a finisher, man. He really isn't. He likes this cage style fighting, and when he finishes you, I think that's a red flag. That's why I think it's a red flag for Malott, and I think that's why they paired Malott up with fucking Gilbert Urbina next. He's gonna beat Gilbert Urbina, man. So not to devolve too much here into just a random shit talking thing here. I think Kelvin Gastelum gets this done. I think it is probably by decision. I think the finishing upside is on the Gastelum side. I think he's the only one that could really get a finish here, whether it be by sub or knockout. Both are possible for Kelvin. But yeah, give me Kelvin. Give me a late finish, man. Give me Kelvin by round 2, round 3 knockout. I will go round 3 knockout for Kelvin. I think that D-Rod gasses. He's proven to be a little bit flaky with the cardio. Possibly a little chinny, possibly. So yeah, give me that round 3 KO for Kelvin. Alex, what do you got?
Definitely trying to stay away from betting this fight. I like the over here. I think we see a 3-round sparring match. I think if you have either side, you're gonna hope to have the dog side in any close fight, in any close decision. And I think this is close. If Gastelum can mix it up, get a couple takedowns, I think he's got it in the bag. I think he'll win a unanimous. But if it stays standing on the feet for 3 rounds, it's going to be pretty much anyone's game. I think it's going to be boring. I think it's going to be a very slow fight on the feet. I think it's going to be a lot of outside work from both guys, a lot of leg kicks, and just a lot of staring at each other. I feel like we're going to have, if this is on the feet, I feel like we're going to have 5 minutes of them just circling. So hopefully I'm wrong and it's a more entertaining fight, but I'm gonna go with Gastelum wins a decision. I think he can mix it up, get a takedown, and just eke out by a couple points. But definitely won't be taking a side in this one. But I won't hate anyone who wants to take a dog shot on D Rod. If it stays standing, he should have the volume to, possibly outpoint. But when he takes a shot, though, it doesn't look good. He can land three small jabs and then get hit once, big, and it's just kind of counteracts each other. So I think you're betting on judges in this fight if you take a side, and I'm trying to avoid that. Wouldn't recommend taking a fighter in this. The over seems like free money to me.
They might, if we're betting on the judges here, they might confuse him with Nasrat, who does represent Afghanistan, right? So they're going to like this dude in this case. I think they're going to think, oh, this dude's Middle Eastern, even though he's Mexican as can be. He does not represent Yuma Fight Academy or wherever the fuck he says he fights out of. He's actually training right now out of one of the better gyms, in my opinion. And maybe I'm biased because it's out of Arizona, but Fight Ready is where he's training out of right now. So that's a good gym, man. Henry Cejudo has supposedly gotten him. He's the taco whisperer. Henry Cejudo is, dude. He's gotten this dude to lay off the food a little bit, and this guy is able to make him kind of get in a little bit better shape. It seems like. Next up, I will take this one, and then Alex starts off with the main event, which I have a hot take on, and I have a hot take on this as well. Sergey Pavlovich versus Alexander Volkov. We got a couple of friends fighting here. I don't know if you've heard the stories with the contract signing. Apparently, there's only so many fights that you can turn down in the UFC. I don't know if any of this is true. This is all hearsay. But you only have a certain amount of fights that you can turn down. These two are best friends, it seems like. Um, Volkov has said that he's never won a sparring round against Sergey Pavlovich, and Pavlovich says that his hardest rounds that he's ever fought in the gym are against Volkov. Neither one wanted to fight each other. They kind of got tricked into it. I think over 1.5 is going to be a sick bet here. I'm going to fucking try and take that and sweat my dick off probably because it's going to be terrifying when you have someone like Pavlovich on one side of an over 1.5. But I actually think that Volkov might win this by submission. That's the take that I'm going with here. Volkov submission, potentially round 2, round 3. I think Pavlovich is going to pull some punches. I don't see Pavlovich just going in and knocking out one of his best buddies because he's got like that life-ending power, man. Like he legitimately has scary fucking power. He's knocking out dudes in one hit like Taito Ivasa. Not necessarily one hit, but you know what I mean? Like this dude has life-changing power. Um, but yeah, I think Volkov gets that sub, and I think it comes in round 2 or round 3. If you have FanDuel, take that bet. But yeah, Volkov sub round 2 for me. And that means that I'm confident. But this is a weird fight, dude, for friends. I mean, imagine Alex and Jared, you guys have to fight each other because you guys got tricked into it. Are you gonna go in there, Jared, and just fucking knock out Alex in round
Alex
1?
is getting fucking start. No, I'm just kidding.
He's getting knocked out in 30 seconds. But no,
And
you
he's
know what
gonna
I mean?
put everything he owns on first minute finish.
Yeah, Alex will bet against himself in that
You know
spot
he
and
would.
just cash in.
Yeah,
Um,
but I'll give you my theory. The theory is that you're not going to go out there and knock out your friend, but you'll go out there and have a grappling match with him. You'll
Right.
go out there and compete with him still. You know what I mean? You'll just do it a little bit more biased. So, I think the UFC will frown upon it, but I think that's a good look on this spot is to bet the fight doesn't end by knockout, just take sub or decision. And you'll get good odds on it because look at the odds on it. Sergey
yeah,
knocks out everyone.
yeah.
Or almost all of his fights end by knockout. It's a strange scenario, and yeah, I'm gonna go with my theory, but I'm gonna go Sergey wins a decision.
This picture on Tapology of Sergey looks freakish because there's a guy behind his left trap and it's a bald head and it looks like it's just a monstrous trap muscle. But it's a dude behind his bald head. So he looks like a fucking freak right there. But yeah, so you're going Pavlovich by decision, Alice.
Yes.
Interesting. Did you see that thing I sent you where UFC Espanol had Sergey Spivak? He's fighting in 5 days. Sergey Spivak, he knocks everyone out. And it's like, boy, I think they had removed that, but yeah, they had said Sergey Spivak was Sergey Pavlovich.
I
And
was dying when I saw that. They even tagged Pavlovich and posted Sergey Spivak. It was fucking awesome.
yeah, now that is the Mexican version or the Spanish speaking version, but it makes me feel so much better when I make little mistakes, doing what I do. Just make much smaller than that. But we also saw that with Blanchfield. They misspelled Blanchfield when she fucking fought Manon Farrell in
Yeah,
New
that's right.
Jersey
Hey,
on the
whenever they make a
banner.
mistake, the fighter usually loses too. I mean, yeah, look at Blanchfield.
Well, let's see if Pavlovich fucking loses this one then. But yeah, so yeah, Pavo decision. That's a hot take. I think that this fight does not go the distance, but and to your point too, Alex, like I've grappled with my friends before, like wrestling and stuff, and I've choked them out and shit. Like they haven't passed out when they tap, I'll let them go, but I don't want to knock out any of my fucking friends, dude. Like I'll choke the shit out of them. I'll twist them up or whatever, in like a weird submission, but I don't want to fucking break any bones on them or anything like that. So I think that's kind of what happens here. But Jared, give your take on this one.
I mean, you guys hit on it all with them being friends. It makes it so much more weird to try to find a spot on because Sergey, he's a hard hitter. He's one dimensional. He really only has one way to win, and it's by knockout. But of course, you don't think he won't. Why would he want to sleep his buddy? You know what I mean? Unless they have some kind of agreement between the two of them, who knows, right? But if you're going to have an agreement, I think you probably want to be leaning more towards value instead of the favorite getting a knockout. But and I'm just saying if this fight isn't, if there's not something weird going on here, and they are, just truly fighting it out, Pavlovich has one path to victory, and it's by knockout. Volkov, he's a vet. He's very well rounded. He can do it all wherever the fight goes. On his feet, he's pretty high volume. He keeps his hands a little low for my liking, but he stays long and he does try to keep his distance. But yeah, if this isn't fixed or weird, he should be looking to wrestle. We might just be watching a sparring match here. So
Yeah.
it's hard to confidently pick anything. But if I had to give a bet, probably kind of square, same side as you guys, I would go with the over 1.5. If these guys are really going to do it like that, that feels like a gift. Uh, for a bet, I like the over 1.5. I don't even hate a double method, thinking that it might not be rigged. A good double method: Pavlovich by knockout, Volkov by decision. But final pick here, just for the sake of the show, I'm going to pick Volkov by decision.
Okay.
But it's a weird fight. It's too weird to feel comfortable.
Yeah,
But
the fact that
I don't hate the over.
none of us picked fucking Sergey Spivak, Sergey Pavlovich by knockout in round one is nuts. I thought that one of you guys were going to pick that. So, I mean, maybe we're fucking off here. We're kind of agreeing that this goes long. Maybe we are wrong. And maybe
If
the
they weren't friends, I would pick Pavlovich by knockout.
of course, but maybe that cat's out of the bag, and maybe everyone's on that side of like we all know that they're friends now, and no one's gonna try and hurt anyone. So maybe I mean, who knows, dude? We're not wrong until we're wrong. On fight day, so it's just gonna be. I hate when the UFC does this, and it's interesting. You didn't see this with Marab and Aljo. They were never scheduled to fight. That would be a decision fight anyway. If those two
For
fought,
sure.
but they never were scheduled because supposedly there's this narrative going around now where you can't turn down a certain amount of fights. Once you turn down a certain amount of fights, you have to fight. That's a new thing that I'm hearing. So maybe something's a little suspicious here. This is realistically a fight to stay away from. Just enjoy it, right? Like don't throw any money on this at all. But yeah, main event of the evening. This is a fun main event. I actually think it's better than the Hamzat fight, man. I am so fucking tired of Hamzat. How this dude says he's going to be a 3-time champ. He's got this cardio issue since he had COVID. He's got the immune system of an AIDS patient, man. Maybe, I mean, he can't have AIDS because he's fighting in the fucking UFC. But I mean, this guy has something seriously wrong with his fucking immune system, man. This guy gets sick every time he's supposed to fight. He's fought 4 times in 4 years. And now Robert Whittaker is taking on the only, I should say, Ikram Aliskerov. The only time that he's ever lost in his career was to Hamzat. I have a hot take on this. I'm interested. Alex, you're starting. I'll go second. Jared will go third. What do you think about this last minute fucking replacement? And when it comes to last minute, Aliskerov was in Vegas this week, and he flew from the Middle East, Russia area, over to Vegas. And then once he lands, they say, hey, we need you in Saudi Arabia, a huge career opportunity. Fly back. So you're spending damn near 48 hours on a fucking plane over 72 hours. Planes and airports, planes, trains, automobiles, bullshit. This is a rough spot for Aliskerov, but what do you think about the matchup and all things kind of included in this whole story here? What do you think, Alex?
I it's intriguing, and it's very, very strange that, Kamzat was the last guy to finish Ikram. It's very strange. It's as if it was meant to be. But in my opinion, I think this is a huge step up for Ikram. I think it's a little bit too much too soon. This is the kind of guy you want to prep for. And you just got to think he's very different than the matchup he had last week.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is like night and day. And I think he's a dog for a reason. I think Whittaker is a great bet this week. I have a hot take on this. I hope you're on the same take as me, but I got Whittaker to get his first knockout with the gloves, and he's gonna be like known as the guy who's got the first knockout with the gloves. Even though Zach Reese did it, Bobby Knuckles gonna do it in a highlight reel fashion. First knockout for himself in 5 years. I'm gonna say round one.
Round one for Bobby Knuckles, huh?
Bobby Knuckles, and the gloves get named after him.
um, okay. That is a very hot take. Um, so what I think here, man, is I might be dead fucking wrong. Might be dead wrong. And I don't care. Like I said, up until we get there, I'm not wrong. So Ikram Aliskerov, man, this dude is rapidly rising through the UFC. I think he's a star in the making. Whether he wins or loses this fight, I think that he's got a future. He's going to be a title challenger, I believe, because he's as good as Hamzat, but he's got the immune system to fucking actually make it to fight week. He's a talented fighter. He's got power in his hands, and he's a great grappler, great wrestler. He's a well-rounded younger dude. Um, he's 31 versus Robert Whittaker's 33, but that 33 on Robert Whittaker is old, right? It's old. I mean, this dude might as well be 40 in MMA years. This guy's definitely up there. He's alternating wins and losses, and he lost to people that he shouldn't have lost to. He should not have lost to DDP. He really shouldn't have lost to DDP. He went to fucking war with Paulo Costa, and that's not that good of a win, man. That's not a good win. He got caught in round one against Paulo Costa. Paulo Costa never had Sean Strickland in any amount of danger. Now, Sean Strickland, arguably, I'd love to see Sean Strickland versus Robert Whittaker, by the way. That'd be a fucking great fight. That'd be so fun. But despite all the shit that Aliskerov has to go through these last 2 weeks, I am on that Aliskerov side, and I think that he knocks out Robert Whittaker fairly early. Because I think Robert Whittaker is getting a bit washed. I don't think that he's done. I think that he's still going to fight for probably 3 or 4 more years. Maybe 5, 6, 7, 8, who knows? But he's going to fight at a high level and be ranked in the top 5 for some years to come. This dude's a fucking beast. And Robert Whittaker, I love the guy, like personally, like I think he's a cool dude and all that stuff. But something about this just says Aliskerov. Like, why they want a Middle Eastern dude fighting over here for some reason, right? It's a Middle East fight. Obviously, it makes sense having a Muslim Russian fighting on this card, but you couldn't find a closer swap out with Hamzat versus this dude. This is the same guy almost, but I actually think Aliskerov's better. Aliskerov was actually favored to beat Hamzat when they fought. He was like looked at in like a favorable regard when they first faced each other. But Hamzat had this weird aura thing going, and he was just finishing everybody early, dominating, doing crazy shit. Now I think people realize, like after Gilbert Burns fought him, like this dude's not good. I think that Kamaru Usman actually beat him when they fought. If you watch that fight back, I tend to think that Kamaru Usman beat Hamzat Chimaev. So yeah, dude, give me Aliskerov. I would have taken Robert Whittaker over Hamzat, but for some reason, I have a feeling here that Aliskerov goes in there and kind of shocks the world a little bit, jumps up the rankings. I don't even think he's ranked right now. Yeah, he's not. He's 17, according to this. If he was actually ranked in the UFC, he would be 15 or higher on this site. But yeah, Aliskerov, man, he doesn't drink. He's a Muslim. This dude doesn't drink, so his cardio isn't going to be as bad as like maybe someone like a Whittaker if he had to go through this kind of same situation. Drinking kills your fucking cardio. It really does. Like that's why these Russians tend to have these Russian Muslims, I should say, have insane cardio. But yeah, man, give me Aliskerov. Give me KO round two. A KO round three could be live too. A round one could even happen because Whittaker, I think he's a slow starter and he fights close. He never finishes dudes lately. So yeah, give me Aliskerov knockout round two. Long-winded, but I think it's a really interesting fight, and I think it's actually more interesting than the Hamzat fight. So what do you got there, Jared?
Well, I'm just going to cut to the chase. You're on Aliskerov round two. I am on Robert Whittaker round two. I think he
Okay.
finds the knockout. When I look at Aliskerov, this dude just went, like you said, he has that long flight and all that. This dude just went from a fucking tune-up fight to a very hard fight. And Robert Whittaker is going from a very hard fight to a also very hard fight, like something he's still prepared for. Aliskerov is about to walk into a tune-up fight, dude. You look at Whittaker, the dude's likable, he's tough, he's well-rounded, he's a vet, and he's been fighting at the highest level. When I say the highest level, I don't mean just UFC, I mean the top of the middleweight division. He's been there for a while and he belongs there. In my mind, he's like the definition of a complete fighter. He's good on his feet. He knows what he's doing on the ground. He has great takedown defense. I've even seen him implement wrestling offense at times. I mean, yeah, 33, the dude's got a lot of miles on him. He has taken some damage over the course of his career, that's for sure. But, I look at Aliskerov, dude, he's only 2 years younger than him, and yes, he has one loss on his record. It was Chimaev. And, I saw how Chimaev got that knockout. We all watched it, but Aliskerov in the UFC, his striking's looked good so far, but Warley Alves and Phil Hawes, right? And I know the fight against Phil Hawes was only 2.5 minutes, but Phil Hawes won 2 minutes of that fight. And, Phil Hawes is one of those guys. He's sharp. He just has no fucking chin. But he looked good on him against the feet. It's like, I know Aliskerov is decent on the feet. We all know the grappling's there, and he's going to want to be pushing that grappling in this fight. But when they're on the feet, I see holes in his game, dude. I like when he throws his punches, he tends to overextend a lot. That's how he got knocked out by Chimaev. And you know, when he throws his jab, he overextends a lot. And when he fucking throws that two, he just ducks his head so much. And I think that comes with the habit of throwing that two to set up the takedown. But I see holes there. Whittaker's a fucking vet. I imagine he sees those same holes. I just although it hasn't happened in 7 years, I'm taping Robert Whittaker to get a knockout. Round two. So opposite sides here. And Ryan, I was hoping you were on Aliskerov. That way I could offer you a wager between you and I.
Okay.
Right. So we got a Russian, we got an American. So if
Wait, he's Australian.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, Australian. Regardless, fucking
I'm already
whichever
liking
one
my
of
odds
us,
here.
whichever. Sorry, I fucking dude. I'm like 5 whole Bud Lights in this evening. Give me a break, right?
Okay.
But all right. So here's the wager: if Aliskerov wins, I have to keep my beard but shave my mustache on the next time we do the pod next week.
Okay.
And if Whittaker wins, you have to shave your mustache, but keep your beard.
Why? Does he have a mustache?
Well, no, he's fighting the fucking Dagestani, the Muslims that have a beard and no mustache.
Yeah.
I
Oh.
just think it'd be fitting for the bet. Oh, look at him. I know you take that beard seriously. That thing's luscious.
Well, I'm trying to grow it back out too. I mean, I
Yeah,
guess I got to
tough
stand
sell,
on
dude.
I guess I got to stand on business, huh?
He's not that
Well,
confident, though.
no, look, you can wait for a fight that you're more confident in. Like, don't feel obligated to, you don't have to do this right now. But I don't even feel that great about my spot either. Like, this is a very close to a coin flip fight, which is why I think it's perfect.
Why don't we both shave the mustache? We'll both do the Dagestani.
Fuck that. I don't want to do that.
No, no, I'm saying like if it goes your way, you shave your mustache, like exactly like you were gonna do, but instead of me having to shave my beard, which I'm trying to grow out, I just shave my mustache.
Wait, I'm saying no, no. That's what I'm saying. Whoever loses shaves just the mustache.
You said that I had to shave my beard and keep the mustache.
No, no, no. I must have said that wrong. I was trying to
I'm
say
not doing that.
shave the mustache, keep the beard like a
Okay.
Dagestani.
Absolutely. I will do that.
That's the bet. All right. So
Yes.
whoever loses has to shave their mustache, but you have to
Okay.
keep your beard.
Yes. Alex, am I
Okay.
crazy? Did he say I had to shave my beard and keep the
I
mustache?
honestly I thought I said it right, dude.
Okay. Maybe I'm just fucking retarded then.
I don't
Jeez.
know. We'll have to listen to it back. One of us is retarded, but
Okay.
probably
Yeah,
both.
I
But
will shave my mustache if Ikram loses. You will shave your mustache if Robert loses. Um, yeah, I don't mind that. I'm gonna look like a fucking terrorist though, when I do it because I got that dark beard. But
whoever loses is gonna look pretty fucking goofy. But
hey,
and
we'll
you
be
have to do the
fine.
whole next episode talking like a dag. Yes, brother.
Yeah. Well, dude, I was actually thinking, man, like I wouldn't mind bleaching my beard for a certain bet. Like once it gets a little longer, like I'll bleach it. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay, a bet.
If I'm down on something, serious, but we'll wait and see. Like maybe it's got to be a Brazilian, maybe next time Charles fights or something like that. But yeah, dude, fun stuff. And I think this is a good card. I had one more thought. You threw me off with this hair shaving thing.
Yeah, I got you
Um,
worried now.
no, no, I mean, I can shave a mustache. I actually trim it pretty short when I trim my shit up, so I'm not too worried about that. But yeah, you're telling me I got to shave my beard. I'm like, fuck that.
I
Um,
swear I didn't say that, but I don't.
we'll
It's all
see.
recorded, so we'll see.
We will see. Alex, what do you think? Maybe you have to grow a beard out if you lose a bet? Can you grow a beard?
Once he turns 18, it'll start to grow in.
Shaved yesterday. I get patchy, but I can get to like a little goatee going.
Hey, dude, a goatee's a nice look sometimes. You
Now
know
I
what I
go for the
mean?
porn stash.
Yeah, dude, you gotta start getting some facial hair stuff going so we can make this a weekly thing. I also like the idea of a shoey bet. Maybe we can do
Oh,
something like that. We can get clean shoes. It doesn't need to
Oh
be
no,
like
let's
a
make it more like entertaining. How about like you give out a really good like next time you have a really big play and you're really confident in it, you gotta like risk like licking a public toilet seat or something like that.
that's no. I'm
You
not
gotta
gonna get
you're
live.
trying
any.
to take it somewhere. We're not trying to. We're trying to keep it within these three boxes.
You guys aren't about that life.
What about a shoey bet? A shoey bet's nice. It
About
doesn't
about
have to
that
be a
licking
nasty
public
shoe.
toilet.
You go out, you buy a
That
brand new.
public one that you guys get the pick.
I'm going into a Victoria's Secret toilet in the girls' room, and I'll lick that. But I gotta make sure that I'm going in there after like an attractive lady and not some fucking wildebeest.
Oh,
But okay, so let's get into our bets, man. I will start this because I have something. I did my what I'm calling my rhino bet. I did that last week. It hit. It was a nice. I mean, it was comfortable. After we got past that Josephine Knudsen weird fight, it seemed like that was a strange one. Josephine got busted up right early on, but she came through. She looked really good. I think she won a unanimous decision, if I'm not mistaken. Um, you guys might think this is an interesting. It's a five-legger, but I feel good about it. I only put 42 on it to win 331. And this $42 that I got, I won it doing fantasy last week. So I got Renat Fakhretdinov. These are all money lines, by the way. Got Renat. I got Nasrat. I got Shara. I got Kelvin, and then the last one that I have is Ikram. But at that point, once it gets there, I might cash out if I'm not doing well that night. I might cash it out if I'm not feeling like too great about it, because it's at that point it's going to be up to about 200, 220. So I might cash out if I'm not like, already killing it with other stuff. But yeah, Ikram is kind of like my only underdog in that. And I beat the line on all of these guys besides Ikram. Ikram has blown up from a plus 110 to a plus 125. But everyone else is shrank in odds. Kelvin's gone. I got better odds on Kelvin, Shara, Nasrat, and Renat. So I'm feeling good about it. Once we get there to that main event, if it's feeling a little rocky, it's going to be a vibes play. I might bail out. I might stick with it. So that's on DraftKings, and I feel good about that for that Rhino bet. But what do you got for your will bet, Jared?
That was pretty good, dude. You had me like for the first three legs, and then at Gaslam, I was like, kind of like, but I could see it. And then
Sure.
you hit me. Then you dropped the Aliskerov, and I'm like, all right, whatever. Fuck you. You're gonna have no mustache next week.
We'll
But
see.
my whale bet here, you're gonna have to eat a little bit of dick, but it's a three-teamer. It's usually a two-teamer. There's several Magomeds on the card. So the first leg is Magomed Gadzi Yal Yasulov. You know which
Oh,
one I'm talking about. We'll
yeah,
call him
hold on. Let
Magomed
me
Gadzi.
I gotta write these fucking things down, so hold on. Yeah. The second fight of the night.
Yeah, we'll call him Magomed Gadzi just to keep it simple. We got him. We got Renat Fakhrdinov, and then we got Shara Bullet. The three of them is plus 150. That's a whale. It's kind of tough with the three-teamer. I don't like that. I like to go two, but I do think that's going to hit. And then the steamer this week, it's not a four-teamer, it's a three-teamer, but it's just as juicy as a four. First leg, we're going with Kang. Second leg, we're going with. Oh no, wait, I'm sorry. I wrote it down wrong here. This is the one I have crossed out. The first leg is Kang. The second leg is over 2.5 in the Nasrat Gordon fight. And then we have Johnny Walker. And then to cap it off, we have the over 1.5 in the Sergey Volkov fight. That's plus 1,400. I had a
Uh,
three-teamer originally, and then I started feeling weird about Rodriguez, so I made it a four-teamer.
okay. Volkov. All right. Yeah, I got that all down, and it's a plus 1,400.
Yep, that four-teamer.
Yeah, that's great. I actually like that a lot. A lot. I'm not on that Walker side necessarily, but I think that it's very plausible, and especially, I mean, you throw $10 on that, get $140. That's not too bad, dude. So,
Yeah, not bad.
um, what do you have, Alex? You have any special plays here?
Currently, I'm waiting on interviews tomorrow, but I do have one play right now. Line's getting worse by the day, which is always good to see. I got Robert Whittaker money line. That's my most confident play currently. Very confident he gets it done, and hopefully, you'll be losing that mustache next week.
Okay. Fuck you too. Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, we come up with parlays and stuff, Alex, and you just come up with one pick, you know? Underachieving.
That's it. That's it.
Okay.
Safe.
Oh, you should see it. I'll be like, yo, Alex, who do you like on this fight? He'll be like, the over. Like, yeah, that's not who.
Well, that's a
Trying to
professional
give him a
gambler in him.
winner, though, you know?
That's the professional gambler in him, man, taking the smart side. Yeah, man. I'm actually really excited for this BKFC card, dude. It's a fucking stacked card. If you guys are not watching stuff on Friday, because it's either that or the PFL, and I don't know what you'd rather watch out of BKFC and PFL. PFL is I mean, you want to watch Decision City. It's pretty rough over there at the PFL. But yeah, there's three titles on the line in the BKFC event this weekend. You got a bantamweight title on the line. You got a featherweight title. You got a light heavyweight title. 12 fights. It's probably, in my opinion, it's the best card that they've ever put on. They keep saying it's one of the best cards of the year. I think it's actually the most intriguing card they've ever done. Just because those last three fights alone, I mean, each one of those could headline a card. I don't know why they're doing it like this, but they are, and it's very interesting. So tune into that BKFC 62 on Friday. There's a press conference on Wednesday. Hopefully we get this out before Wednesday and that press conference can go out and people can check that out. But some beef in that main event, dude, that featherweight main event. Also PFL's this weekend. Bellator is early in the morning. Yeah, there's a lot of shit going on. So nonstop action this week. And I can't wait for fucking football season to come back, man. It's coming right up. So gonna be a fun thing. I love betting football. Anything else that you guys got? Nothing.
Alex, I know you got something.
If you want our picks, DM us on Instagram. Sometimes things change. You can sign up and be a client. We'll text you our plays directly to your phone, every Saturday or whenever we have plays. We are profitable this year and we're profitable last year. And yeah, subscribe. Follow us on the podcast channels, Apple Pod. And let's ride. Let's make some money, boys.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Jared?
Oh, I got hit me up on Instagram, Teep Picks. Hit Alex up. He's on fucking everything, Profit Picks. And yeah, that's it. Hit us up. Let's make some money.
Yeah, make sure you watch these if you like watching. I always listen to podcasts, but if you like watching, they are available on the Profit Picks YouTube, which I do share in the audio versions of this. And yeah, that's it, guys. Tune in next week. Big UFC 303 next week, right? Am I crazy? Isn't it next week? It is next week.
It is next week. Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking I actually think that Poatan versus Yuri is a much better fight than fucking McGregor and fucking Chandler, dude. I can't stand either one of those dudes. So yeah, give me the replacement bout over the original, man. I know McGregor has that electric energy when he comes out, and when it's a McGregor fight week, it's different and all that stuff, but just the talent level has dropped since he's gotten older and injured and stuff like that. Nothing against him, but this is a very intriguing fight, man. Round 2, second matchup for these two fucking crazy fucks. It's going to be great. So thank you guys for listening. We'll be back next week for a big fight card. Maybe we'll have a guest or something. We'll see. But we'll talk soon, guys. Take care.